It's getting the balance right, Trev, I would imagine. Look, you want to start the season well. It's the opener, but at the same time, there's bigger fish to catch. Champions League, the Premier League. So he's just got to have a look at his players and mix it up, surely. Or do you play your strongest side?
Well, listen, it's the curtain raiser. It's a tradition I actually like. I love watching the Community Shield. And I think it should say, but really, I mean, Ray will tell you more. He's played in it. It's a glamorous friendly, isn't it? It's a curtain raiser. You want to showcase the new signings possibly that he brought in this summer. But it's one of them where I understand what he's saying. It is a shorter break because of the World Cup this winter. So they went deep into the Champions League. But when you look at it, it's a tradition that we've loved and enjoyed for many a moon. And we're not going to change it, but I think Jurgen just likes having a little growl up, doesn't he? Just to ruffle a few feathers and have a little moan up here and there. But they've earned the right. They won 2 cup finals, even though it was on penalties. So they've earned the right to be in the Community Shield. And yeah, it should be a good curtain raiser with Manchester City and them, probably 2 of the biggest clubs in the country over the last 5-10 years, scrapping it out to see who's going to lift the trophy.
I know it's a lot better logistically to get to Leicester, but I'm sure the players would love to have played at Wembley as well, wouldn't they? In a packed house. That's what really lifts you, really. You're playing at Wembley Stadium in the Community Shield or when Charity Shield when I played.
But that might just help both sides because it's not Wembley, guys, much less capacity. You want to get off to a start. You want to get off to a start, but at the same time, the managers might say, "Okay, it's a little bit down from Wembley. I'll change it. We'll make so many changes. We'll get some of the young kids have shown in pre-season. Maybe they have stepped up. I can see a lot of changes. But
I still think you want to get one over on your rival.
I think you've got to be big and bold enough to say this doesn't matter.
I think that you look at the pre-seasons, obviously both clubs have been involved in quite a few big games over the pre-season, and one that springs out to me is the Manchester United result that Liverpool had. And I think that's just put that added little bit of pressure on Jurgen Klopp that he doesn't want to get beaten off another Manchester club in the way that they got beat off Manchester United, because 4-0, and I know they played I wouldn't say weak team, but a lot of young players in that first half when they were 3-0 down, but still second half, with that momentum, Manchester United went on to win the second half 1-0 and it was a 4-0 win. So on the back of that, I just think it adds a little bit of pressure to Jurgen Klopp and his team to make sure that while everyone's watching, because everyone will be watching the Community Shield, even though it's at the King Power Stadium, I think they'll want to make sure they give a good account of themselves and a better account of themselves that they did against Manchester United.
From what you've seen so far, Trev, is it still a 2-horse race? One or two people are now saying no, it's not. I think it is, but I'm hoping the chasing pack will get closer, but I still think it's City or Liverpool's.
Yeah, I am leaning towards that, even though some of the players that are coming in at both clubs are untested in the Premier League. So Núñez is never, we've not seen him in the Premier League, seen him in the Champions League done well, same as Haaland. But I just like what Tottenham are doing in the transfer window. I like the energy coming out of Arsenal. West Ham have made a lot of good signings, although they can't probably be discussed in this conversation yet. If they start the season well, we've seen what kind of runs they can go on under David Moyes and with an improved squad. But I do see it as a 2-horse race, but I wouldn't be surprised if Tottenham put themselves right amongst it and stay, because the signings they've made, the end of the season that they had, the manager that they've got in charge, the players that they already have, which we know are world class. They've got goals all over that pitch, and they could be cheekily right amongst it, come the halfway through the season.
Ray, what about West Ham? Where did they come into this?
Well, obviously the striker was a big signing. It sounds like he will fit into the Premier League. 6'5", good build. He'll hold the ball up for, his record in front of goal is not too bad either. Obviously you got Antonio, who needed that little bit of help. They didn't really replace Haller, did they, when they let him go? So that's a good bit of business for David Moyes. The most important thing for David Moyes was keeping Declan Rice and Bowen. They were superb last year. So if they can carry on that form, which they will, Declan Rice I'm sure will, and Bowen, who's now in the England squad, and he'll be looking forward to maybe getting a chance to go to the World Cup, then I'm sure they will be hoping to. I think they overachieved a little bit last year, Trev. Do you or not?
Who's this, West Ham?
West Ham. I think they've done so well without, everybody's waiting for them to go into the transfer window in January, like, buy the striker you need. They didn't. But they've done really well to get to where they got to. Nearly got to that final of Europa League. A little bit unlucky there against Frankfurt. And I thought the league table itself, that's a great position where they finished.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think David Moyes will look at that game and potentially feel he made a mistake because...
the Frankfurt game?
Yeah, Ben Johnson was playing well and he went for experience that game. And if you've got a player playing well and earning his stripes, I think he's got every right to want to be in the team. He rested him for that game and lo and behold, the player that came in got sent off. So I think he'll look at that himself from self-reflection as a manager, as an honest person, and think maybe I should have stuck with the team that had done so well. But yeah, I agree with you.
I think the first leg though, Trev, done them, didn't it? That opening goal, to concede after a minute or a couple of minutes into the game, just silenced the whole London Stadium, didn't it?
Yeah, but when they played as well as they did and they had the chances, created as many chances as they did, if you're doing that with 10 men, I think you've got a great chance at getting back into the game. But it wasn't meant to be. But it was still a successful season. And I think everyone involved at the club look back at the 21-22 season and think, yeah, we had a good goal. We've strengthened. Let's see if we can improve on that.
Do you think Newcastle will become higher than West Ham? Just quickly, Trev.
I think that's a flick of a toss of a coin. I think they have improved massively. You look at their season form towards the end of the season was outstanding. Again, they've improved their squad. Not as many players coming in as maybe a lot would think, but I think that just reflects of how good a job Eddie's done in the short space of time he's been there. He's got a real togetherness and a team spirit going. I think the whole city's behind the club now and they're going forward as one. And that's a very difficult task to stop. When you've got a Newcastle United side with the fans behind them with a good quality squad, it's a difficult team to compete against. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how hard they finish. I thought they'd finish top 8 this season with signings they've made, and I think West Ham will be very similar. So yeah, it's a toss of a coin between who finishes above each other out of them two clubs.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Alan Brazil. Thursday and Friday morning, 6 till 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.